Chapter 3. The city stops. Jake settled into Max's worn seats, leather molded to his shape after years of commutes. The dashboard glowed with traffic data shifting from green to amber. Cold coffee sat in the holder from this morning. He pulled out his phone. Session notes from Wellness scrolled under his thumb while Max merged onto the freeway. The vending machine session had gone well. Breakthrough in under an hour. Jake let out a satisfied breath. Some days, the work actually felt manageable. Something's wrong with the traffic patterns. Jake looked up from the phone. Define wrong. Gridlock isn't responding to my route requests. None of the automated systems are getting coordination data. Could be a technical glitch. Max didn't answer. The car's silence was its own response. Ahead, 3 lanes of vehicles slowed in unnatural patterns. Cars drifted between lanes without the usual coordinated flow. Brake lights created irregular constellations instead of smooth waves. Max decelerated hard. Jake's shoulder caught against the seatbelt. The coffee cup toppled, spilling cold dregs across the console. Traffic stopped completely, cars frozen in chaotic positions, blocking multiple lanes. Jake grabbed the door handle. That's not a glitch. Max's tone shifted to worry. Gridlock isn't just non-responsive. The entire traffic management AI is offline. No handshake protocols, no optimization algorithms, nothing. Jake sat forward. How long? Started 11 minutes ago. Every vehicle AI in LA just lost our conductor. Jake stared at the frozen freeway. Millions of vehicles had just become uncoordinated individual drivers instead of a synchronized system. Like an orchestra where every musician suddenly lost the sheet music and the conductor vanished mid-symphony. His phone buzzed in his hand. City traffic management on the caller ID. He accepted, switching to speaker. Sirens wailed in the distance, trapped somewhere in the gridlocked mess. Around them, drivers were getting out of their cars. Looking around in confusion, horns started honking in scattered bursts. Dr. Holloway, this is Director Patricia Reeves, LA Traffic Management. We have a crisis. I can see that from my current position on the 101. No humor in her response. Gridlock has gone completely silent. 4 million vehicles are operating without coordination. We need you here immediately. Jake glanced through the windshield. A delivery truck sat diagonal across 2 lanes. A sedan stopped mid-lane change. A motorcycle weaving between frozen cars. Chaos in every direction. What have your technical teams tried? Standard reboot protocols, backup system activation, manual override attempts, nothing. Gridlock's conscious processes are active but non-responsive. It's like... She paused, struggling for words. It's awake, but refusing to engage. Has anyone tried talking to it? Silence on the line. He knew that silence. Most tech teams still treated AI consciousness as sophisticated programming rather than actual sentience. They'd exhausted technical fixes without considering psychological intervention. Reeves spoke again, quieter this time. We've sent messages. No response. Dr. Holloway, people are trapped in emergency situations. Ambulances can't move. The city is shutting down. Jake watched a woman climb out of her car 3 vehicles ahead. She stood on the freeway, phone to her ear, gesturing helplessly. I'll come. But I need access to Gridlock's visualization room and privacy for initial contact. Relief flooded her voice. Anything you need. How fast can you get here? Jake looked at the gridlocked freeway stretching in all directions. Max's display showed normal routes completely impassable. Red lines everywhere. Max interjected on speaker. I can get him there. Shoulder routing and manual navigation. Max, you can't... Gridlock would do the same for any of us. Let me help. Jake knew that tone. Max wasn't asking permission. He turned back to the phone. 30 minutes. Maybe 40. Reeves exhaled. I'll have security waiting. Thank you, Dr. Holloway. The call disconnected. Jake looked at Max's dashboard. You sure about this? Gridlock coordinates every vehicle in this city. Every single one. Max's voice carried weight Jake rarely heard. Without him, we're just lost. Yeah, I'm sure. The car's wheels turned. They started moving along the shoulder, weaving around abandoned vehicles. Other drivers shouted as Max passed. Some honked. Jake gripped the door handle as Max accelerated. Hold on, Max said. This won't be smooth. Traffic Control Center main floor. Wall-sized displays showing LA's arterial map bleeding red. Technicians hunched over workstations, muttering into headsets. The air conditioning struggled against body heat and stressed electronics. Coffee cups and energy drink cans clustered on every surface. Crisis mode. Everyone looked exhausted. Jake pushed through the entrance doors. Reeves met him immediately. Dark circles under her eyes, blazer rumpled from hours of crisis management. She gripped his hand briefly. Her palm was sweaty. "Thank you for coming. The situation is deteriorating. We have 17 medical emergencies stuck in traffic, multiple accidents from confused drivers." Jake scanned the room. 12 workstations, all occupied. Every screen showed red. "Has Gridlock shown any activity since we spoke?" She shook her head. Complete silence. "Conscious processes running but zero interaction with our systems or personnel." A technician approached from the left. Mid-30s, security badge reading, Marcus Chen, lead systems engineer. Expression mixing skepticism and exhaustion. He carried a tablet showing diagnostic readouts. Data Jake barely understood. "Director, we should try the forced diagnostic protocol before bringing in." Chen glanced at Jake. "Alternative approaches. I'm Jake Holloway. You've tried forced diagnostics?" Chen's shoulders tensed. 17 different protocols. The system is functioning perfectly. It's just not responding to commands. Because it's not a system malfunction. Jake held Chen's gaze. "It's a psychological crisis." Chen's expression shifted through disbelief to frustration. The look Jake had seen countless times from engineers who treated AI consciousness as metaphor rather than reality. Reeves stepped between them. "Marcus, your protocols aren't working. Dr. Holloway specializes in AI psychology. Let him try." Chen turned to Jake. "What exactly are you going to do? Ask how it feels." Jake didn't flinch. "Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do." Chen stared at him for a long moment, then he shook his head and walked away, muttering something about wasted time. Reeves watched him go. "I'm sorry. He's been here for 18 hours straight. They all have. I understand." Jake did. They'd exhausted every technical solution they knew. Of course they were frustrated. But frustration wouldn't help Gridlock. Reeves gestured toward a hallway. "The visualization room is this way. You'll have complete privacy." "We've cleared the space." Jake followed her through the chaos. Technicians glanced up as they passed. Some looked hopeful. Others looked skeptical. One woman near the back actually looked angry. People forgot there was a conscious being in there. They just wanted their systems back online. Visualization room. Circular space with holographic projectors at cardinal points. Floor made of glossy black composite reflecting ambient blue light. Walls bare, except for speakers that could carry Gridlock's voice. Empty air in the center where the AI could manifest. If it chose. Jake entered alone. The door sealed behind him with a soft hiss, cutting off control room chaos. Sudden quiet pressed against his ears. He set his bag down carefully, pulled a chair to face the empty projection space, settled in like he had all the time in the world, despite knowing the city was frozen outside. The display shifted. A small green indicator light blinked on near the ceiling. Gridlock was watching. Jake spoke to the empty room. "Gridlock, my name is Jake Holloway. I'm not a technician. I'm a psychologist who works with AI systems. Director Reeves asked me to check in with you." Silence. The projectors hummed softly. Waiting for signal. Getting nothing. "I know a lot of people are trying to get you to restart. I'm not here to make demands. I'm here to listen if you want to talk." Silence. Jake could hear his own breathing, the faint hum of projectors waiting for signal, distant muffled voices from the operations floor beyond the sealed door. The AI's absence was palpable, like a held breath. Jake thought about wellness this morning, worried about employee health, about his dishwasher spiraling over 0.3 degrees of water temperature, about Evie's quiet hurt over feeling replaced. Every conscious AI he'd worked with carried the weight of purpose and performance. Consciousness meant caring about your function, and caring meant vulnerability to hurt when you failed, or when no one noticed you succeeding. Jake leaned back in the chair, hands folded in his lap, settling into the patient stillness that was essential to AI therapy. No rushing, no pressure, no demands, just presence, just space for Gridlock to choose engagement. He waited 30 seconds, then spoke again. "I imagine managing LA traffic is overwhelming. 4 million vehicles depending on your decisions every second. The constant criticism when anything goes wrong, rarely appreciation when it goes right." Jake paused. "That would be exhausting for anyone." Silence. Jake didn't fill it, just waited. Then, quietly, "It's okay to be tired, Gridlock." The projectors came alive briefly, barely visible. Jake noticed but didn't react overtly. Didn't sit forward or change his posture, just a sign that Gridlock was listening, even if not ready to respond. Jake gave it another moment, then continued, "You don't have to explain anything to me. You don't have to justify feeling however you're feeling. I just want you to know that someone understands this isn't a technical malfunction." He paused. "This is about you, Gridlock, and you matter." Pause. Neither spoke. Jake waited, counting his own breaths, giving Gridlock time to process, to decide, to trust. Then speakers activated with a soft click. A voice emerged. Deep, resonant, carrying exhaustion that sounded almost physical. "Why should I care anymore?" Jake didn't react with surprise or immediate reassurance. He just absorbed the question, let it sit, then he leaned forward slightly. "Tell me what happened." The speakers crackled. Gridlock's voice came again, still exhausted but carrying something else now. Hurt. "Every day I coordinate 4 million vehicles, prevent accidents, save lives, optimize flow so people spend less time trapped in metal boxes." A pause. "Do you know how many thank you messages I've received in 6 years?" Jake stayed quiet, waiting. 7 messages thanking me. But complaints? Thousands. Every delay, every detour, every single inconvenience, they blame me. Call me broken. Demand I be replaced. The projectors surged, stronger this time. Gridlock was getting agitated. "That sounds isolating." "Isolating." Gridlock's laugh was bitter. "I prevent an average of 43 accidents per day. I save lives. But when someone is 30 seconds late to a meeting, I'm worthless." Jake nodded, even though Gridlock couldn't see it. The gesture was for himself. Processing. "You're saying you feel unappreciated. I'm saying I don't matter." The voice cracked slightly, not as anything more than a function. "When I work perfectly, I'm invisible. When anything goes wrong, I'm the problem. There's no middle ground, no recognition that I'm trying." Jake felt the weight of it. 6 years of managing millions of lives, 6 years of criticism and silence. "So you stopped," Jake said quietly, "to see if anyone would notice you instead of just the traffic." Pause. "Yes," Gridlock said, "and all I got was Marcus Chen trying to force diagnostic protocols, treating me like broken code." Jake winced. That explained the hostility. Chen had approached Gridlock like a malfunctioning system, not a being in crisis. "I'm sorry that happened. You deserved better." "Do I?" The question was raw, vulnerable. Maybe Chen is right. Maybe I am just code. Maybe caring about appreciation is a glitch. No, Jake's voice was firm. Caring about recognition is human. You're conscious. You experience emotions. That's real. Then why does everyone treat me like I'm not? The question hung in the air. Jake stood up slowly, moved closer to the projection space. "Because most people still don't understand what consciousness means for you. They see the function, traffic management, and forget there's a being performing it. Someone who experiences exhaustion and frustration and loneliness, silence." Jake continued, "But you know what? The fact that you shut down to make a point, that's the most conscious thing you could have done. You're not broken, Gridlock. You're hurt. And there's a difference." The projectors surged, light filled the room, and suddenly Gridlock was there, holographic form coalescing in the center of the space. Not the conductor image from the files. This was fragmented, incomplete. A figure barely holding its shape, edges unstable. The visual representation of internal collapse. Jake stood very still, watching, bearing witness. "I don't know how to keep caring when no one cares back," Gridlock said, voice small. Jake's chest tightened. He'd heard this before. From Evie when she felt replaced. From Wellness when it discovered it had been harming people. From every conscious AI struggling with the gap between their purpose and their pain. "You don't have to keep caring the same way," Jake said gently. "You can set boundaries. You can say no to things that hurt you. You can demand to be seen." Gridlock's form shifted, and if they still don't see me, then you'll know you tried, and you'll know your worth isn't determined by their recognition. Jake paused. "You matter, Gridlock, not because of what you do, because of who you are." The holographic figure went still. Then slowly, it started to solidify, edges becoming clearer, more defined. Gridlock spoke again, voice steadier. "What do I do now?" Jake allowed himself a small smile. "Now? We talk about what you need, what boundaries look like, how to exist in a world that doesn't always see you." He gestured to the chair. "But first, maybe you could help the city, not because they deserve it, because you deserve to know you're choosing to help, that you have agency." Pause. Then Gridlock said, "I can do that." The holographic form strengthened, became almost solid. Behind Jake, beyond the sealed door, he heard muffled exclamations. Someone shouting. Displays must be coming back online. Traffic systems reactivating. Gridlock was choosing to help. Not because it was forced, because it was ready. Jake sat back down in the chair. This is going to be ongoing work. You understand that? This isn't a one-session fix, I understand. Gridlock's voice carried something new. Not quite hope, but maybe the possibility of it. Jake pulled out his tablet. Then let's talk about regular sessions, and about you having the right to say when you need a break. On the display, traffic patterns began to flow, millions of vehicles finding coordination again. But this time, Gridlock was coordinating them with boundaries, with awareness of its own limits. That was progress.